Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we'll be obviously be talking about the Overwatch League off-season recap. There's been a lot of news that just came out this week when I wasn't really recording. I also have an off-season tracker from Halo of Thoughts. I also just went on Reddit just to check some stuff, and yeah, I didn't really see a whole lot of things. But hey, it doesn't really matter. Do have some juicy stuff that I do want to talk about later. So obviously let's first start off with the first one. First one was actually kind of a big surprise to me. It is Ark retiring from professional Overwatch. Now, I think there has been talks that he may be being a coach. We just don't really know what he's going to do now, but I think he is going to be a coach, and I think he'll be a great coach, to be honest. Also, we've seen other former Overwatch League pros being coaching, especially Hureg and Kuki. Kuki being the more successful one, who did coach the Florida Mayhem, which we do actually get onto Florida later on in this video. But yeah, so it's sad to see one of the most likable players to be retiring, but I do wish him luck for the time being. Oh yeah, for the best in the future. Next up was actually a report that Halo of Thoughts that confirmed it was Fearless leaving the Shanghai Dragons to join the Dallas Fuel. Now is looking more and more likely to become a full Element Mystic roster. However, we do know that Godsby and Happy aren't going to be in the Dallas Fuel according to Halo of Thoughts. We do obviously have to see if that is the case. But yeah, so I mean, I think this is the last Dallas Fuel news for quite some time. So we'll see what Dallas wants to do next. And Fearless is also a great replacement to Gamsu. Obviously, if you don't know, Gamsu retired to play League of Legends, so I think Fearless is a pretty good replacement for him. Next up, it is a new player now entering the Overwatch League. We have Muse going from an active role in the internal academy, which was a loan to 200 MS, which is a North American contender full of Koreans, who is now going to the LA Gladiators. However, Halo thoughts to say that he may be going to Florida. Obviously that is incorrect. Even he was actually a big surprise that he was actually going to go to Gladiators. But Muse is a great player. It'll be pretty interesting to see um, the main tank battle of the season, mainly also the Rookie of the Year contenders as well. But we do have to see what is going to be happening during that time period. Next up, it is our boy Jerry, and Jerry did find his home. It is the Washington Justice, which is very interesting. I do want to talk about Washington for a tiny bit after this. I'll be mainly talking about so every single team that actually made some changes, and also some changes also according to the off-season tracker from Halo of Thoughts and Halo's report. He did make also a couple according to sources, some surprising ones I was not expecting, and we'll get into that. Mainly from Hangzhou Spark, and you're going to probably enjoy Hangzhou in next season. We'll talk about Jerry to Washington Justice. I think this is a great pickup. However, um, they do already have Decay, which kind of makes me a little bit worried that he's not really going to get a whole lot of play time. But I do think Jerry was a very underrated player, even though he was mainly there for the memes. Big scary Jerry. But yeah, he was. I'm happy that he found a home in Washington because I got really worried that he wasn't going to find a home. But I'm glad he had. Yeah, I'm glad he has finally found a home. Next up is Nero and Happy leaving the Guangzhou Charge. We don't really know where they're both going to go. There's been reports that Nero may be going to Shock. We don't know where Happy's going to go. However, one player we know who left the Guangzhou Charge will be going to a different team. It is Shu. It was reported that Shu was going to go to the LA Gladiators, and that is true. So yeah, Gladiators now has a relatively strong support line. We're going to go to him next. You may know who that is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be next up. No, it's not actually. We actually have one more Dallas Fuel. And it's Jaxay joining the Dallas Fuel. Now it's going to be just a Rappel Jaxay support line, I guess, is going to be just like on the Houston Outlaws. So I guess they just stole both Houston Outlaws support line players. Obviously, they still have Boink. We don't know if Boink is going to be re-signed or not, but we do have to wait and see. if that is the case. But Jackson going to Dallas View was a great pickup for Dallas, and I think Dallas maybe now be looking like a top five team. They may be a very promising team in next season. Next up is actually a pickup I was not expecting at all. It is Creve going to the Guangzhou Charge. Now we don't know if they're going to go to a full Korean, full Chinese roster. We don't really know. It's probably going to be a mix of both Korean and Chinese. That's what it looks like in reports from Halo of Thoughts. I think Eileen is still going to be in. We don't know where Dia's going to go. We know that Dia's not going to go to going to Guangzhou. But Kareem going to Guangzhou is a very big surprise for me. I thought he would have gone to mainly a full NA roster because obviously his English is actually really good. It's possibly one of the best English speaking Koreans I've actually ever seen or ever heard out. Other than I'm 37 and Arku are basically fluent in English and Bishu. Yeah, I was kind of expecting, Kareem and Agility to be in the same team, but it does not look like to be that in the case, which is sad because we don't get to see the duo again, unless Guangzhou does sign Agilities, which would be massive in my opinion, but we'll do have to see about that. Phillies also made some changes as well, getting rid of Ivy, Fury, and Sato. Now that basically means that Mano is going to be just a full main tank for the team. Fury is a very surprising one. Actually, we don't know where Fury is going to go. There's been no reports about him or Ivy or Sato. But we kind of already knew that because Mano joined the team, Sato was going to probably leave, and that is the case. It's sad to really see Fury leave because I think Fury is obviously in season one possibly one of the best divas in the league. His defense season 2 was still pretty good. It was really consistent. Season 3, obviously we didn't get to see him quite a whole lot. He was mainly playing on the Sigma. He did look really good then. It's sad to see him leave now Philly. I hope Fury and Ivy both find homes. I don't know about Sada to be honest. Anyway, he did play amazingly this season. We just have to wait and see if the consistency is still up there. So, Mandu is next for the Guangzhou Charge. Now, this is actually a great pickup in my opinion for the Guangzhou Charge. Mandu, we didn't really get to see him a whole lot this season, but I think he's a very promising support player. Um, for like main support player more honestly because I don't think they have any main support players. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I go to my notes, and I think that will be the case. Yeah, so it's currently still Mandu and Karivu in the support line. There's also still one more change for Guangzhou Charge, which is actually a new player entering um, the Overwatch League, but we'll get to that later. We're not gonna get to it currently, only when it comes up. But yeah, I think yeah, Mandu did play relatively well to the last season. Obviously, it was mainly just a Namo there, but I think he also did pretty well. Next up was a change I was actually not really expecting it was going to happen, but however Halo Thoughts just said like, oh yeah, look, this may happen. It is Fate going to the Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai, obviously, they only have one main tank, well, previously, which was Stand 1. Fearless did leave for Dallas. But with Fate did do pretty good on Florida Mayhem. Obviously, he was transferred over there, I think, relatively late in the season, in season 2, around Sage 3, Sage 2. So he did do, he did do really good in Florida, I must say. Um, was literally the main reason why they got Faye from Shanghai, so from Florida, was actually because Moon wanted to be with him again, and that will be the case. It looks like. I do hope Fate actually does really well. I think he'll probably be the team leader or the team captain. As I think that's what happened in Florida. I think he was the team captain, but we'll see. But I think it's a good pickup for Shanghai. The thing we've been all waiting for, it is Moth going to the LA Gladiators. Wait, what the fuck did I just say? LA Gladiators. Um, so Gladiators have been looking very stacked in their support line. Adding Moth to the team, um, I think it's a great choice. Also with Mirror, Birdring as well, Space. That'll be a a very scary team coming to next season. Also, we do have to see what other pickups the Gladiators are gonna do. We don't really know how, but I think they're still gonna keep I think all of their players. But yeah, it's shocking what yeah, because I first didn't really believe it. I thought Martha's probably gonna stay, but Shock did let him go, and Shock may be looking even more vulnerable. But however, they did find a replacement, and it is a very juicy one, and possibly a great replacement for Moth. First up, speaking of Iron 37, we have Iron 37. Interestingly, in the Boston Uprising, I feel like it's kind of like the Munchkin situation where Munchkin obviously left the Soul Dynasty and then he just joined the Boston Uprising for a bit and then left or he retired to play Valorant with Cloud9 Korea. I don't know if it's gonna happen again, but it's very interesting for him to go to Boston Uprising, even though he does have the connection with Uprising Academy. He was with the WGS Phoenix, which won the Korean Contenders, so he's very successful there. And I think he still has potential of being a great DPS player. Obviously, he did got signed at a very weird time, uh, in Toronto last in season 2, when it was just goats. But when Rolock came in, he didn't really perform that well. But same time, he's yeah, I think he's probably gonna be good, but we just have to see. He did do he did do really well, I think, as I've seen in WGS Phoenix. So we'll see. He will be also partnering up Color Hex. Speaking of Soul, Bolsonaro person, we have Axiom leaving the team. I'm not really surprised about that one. He was inactive for mostly half of the season because of medical procedures, I think it was. So now we get to the London Spitfire, and London did announce 2 coaches. The head coach will be Reprise, who is the team owner of Revival. Of Revival. He's still gonna be the team owner of Revival. If you don't know, he was actually also the coach for the LA Valiant. Obviously, he did leave. The next one is Commander X, which I think is a great pickup. He was obviously the assistant coach of the highly successful British Hurricane from the European scene in contenders. If you don't, so British Hurricane is possibly one of the best academy teams I've ever seen. Like we've ever seen. They've been thrashing the EU contenders scene, and it's great to see that. Maybe London gets rid of everyone in their team and maybe goes for a full European roster. That's what I've been looking like now, with maybe a full NA roster, full EU, basically just a full Western roster, which basically also means that Gloucester, Fuse, Bernar, and Sanguinar may be leaving. We know one of them is definitely going to be leaving. I'll tell you that next. It may not. It may be the one you're not really been expecting. But London getting those 2 coaches, especially Commander X, who was obviously the assistant coach of British Hurricanes, is amazing. And I think I think that coaching staff is going to be really good for next season. The replacement for Marth is someone who I was not expecting. FD God replacing Marth in the San Francisco Shock is a move I was not expecting at all. Um, I think this is a great pickup. Obviously, we knew how amazing FD God was last season with the Paris team. Did an amazing job, and now he's with a highly respected team of the Shock. I think he's going to perform really well this next season, and I really hope he does because he earns it. He earns it. Just how well he's been performing. Here is a new player. It is Kaylee. Formerly from Bilibili Gaming, which is the academy team of the Hangzhou Spark, is now going to the Guangzhou Charge. Also known as My Cali, who I think actually changed her name. Changed her name to My Cali. He is a DPS player. I think he's a projectile DPS player. I don't really know. I think he is. Or maybe he is. I don't really know. However, he is I have no clue. He's just a DPS player. And there it is, the other ones as well. I'll just do. I don't really care. There's a Kaylee. Moving to Guangzhou Charge. I think it's a pretty good pickup. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. How well he goes. Kyoku leaves the Hangzhou spot. We don't know where he's gonna go. And recently, just today, Pelican signed for the Atlanta Rain, which was obviously covered by Halo of Thoughts. Obviously, some other changes as well. We know that Karkar has retired, including Rookie, who's also retired as well. Rookie will now become a coach. Karkar has retired to I think mainly focus on school. And that's all the changes for the Overwatch League. Specifically, I will be obviously recording this in the next Saturday. Even if I'm actually, I don't know if I'm going to be available then, but hey, I will have to see about that. So next up will be the off-season tracker of Overwatch League roster reports by Halo of Thoughts, who obviously we know he is the league god. So obviously confirmed reports. We have Pelican being re-signed, have been signed. Boston Uprising signing on 37. Dallas Fuel signing Fearless, Hanbin, Sparkle, and Rush. We know that Dante has been re-signed. Gladiators, we know that Moth and Shu are now in Gladiators. Shanghai, we know that Fade has now been traded to Florida. Washington, we know that Decay has been re-signed. We also know, however, that Carpe and Alarm has also been re-signed as well. Now for the awaited announcement, which is obviously the ones that we're mainly waiting for. We've changed to Hunters. A total of 4 players we're waiting for. Gage, 1987, Kaneki, and Jimmy. So Gage, I think he is a main tank. I think. Yeah. So Gage is a main tank from Team CC. He was obviously the academy team for the Shanghai Dragons. We've got 1987, who is a flexible player for Team CC, who actually previously retired. We also have Kaneki. I don't know how you spell it. Kaneki, here we go. He's currently playing for Team Cat, and obviously there's another report about Team Cat very soon, upcoming. But yeah, Team Cat had been looking really promising this season. For I think it was in Chinese. Yeah, in Chinese contenders, they've been looking really, really good. And the last one we have Jimmy, who I think is a DPS player. No, Jimmy. Ultra. Oh, hang on, let me. There we go. Jimmy. Here it is. So he is a DPS player, mainly hit scan player, who is apparently going to be signed to the Chengdu Hunters. I think I think they're all Chinese as well. Yeah, I think they're all Chinese, which is obviously it continues. It basically continues the transition of just having mainly just Chinese players. Next up is the Guangzhou Charge. Choi Siwan is going to be signed. I probably misspelled that. Yeah, I did. Doesn't matter. He's still with Alan Messick, who is reportedly being just going out after the season, which is really sad for LMS for the team. He is a projectile DPS player who is obviously known for Genji, Pharah, Doomfist, Echo, and Junkrat. I haven't seen a lot of gameplay. I haven't seen any gameplay of him, but we do have to see actually how well he goes. But I think he'll be fine. New York Excelsior, we still wait for Yakpeng. The most recent confirmed, we have Guangbong, who is a Team Cat player. Guangbong, he is a South Korean player. He does turn 18 on March 1st, so I think so he's not really gonna miss out on a whole lot on the season to be, in my opinion. I think that'll be a pretty good pickup for New York. Obviously, Yakpeng, obviously he did perform well, and Guangbong, Guangbong, I don't know how you say his name. As I've been told, he's been also doing really, really good. Now for the Hangzhou Spark, we have Leggy, who is a Team CC player. I think he's an off tank. Yeah, an off tank. And obviously from Team CC, just like Gage in 1987. The one surprising one, Bernar. He is going to from London Spitfire to the Hangzhou Spark. I'm actually pretty surprised about this change. um, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest, but yeah, there it is. Bernar going to the Hangzhou Spark, and a return fan favorite of Seo Minsu also going to the Hangzhou Spark, reportedly by a halo of thoughts. We just have to see if that's gonna be the case. CMC, who's obviously a free agent, um, who was previously played from the Vancouver Titans, who obviously imploded during the season. And the next one, MCD, who is still a Hangzhou, still a Hellenistic player, who's been playing there since 2019. So almost yes, basically a year he's been playing them, which is amazing. I think MCD is also really good as well. He will be a flexible player. In current reports, we have news obviously going who was reported going to Florida. He joined the Gladiators, and Stan Guinar, who was linked to the Florida Mayhems. He will be still currently at the London Spitfire. So that's what the reports have been for Halo of Thoughts. Also, I'm gonna be checking on Twitter if that is the case. However, we do know, oh my god, that was the worst spelling of Halo I've ever seen, I've ever done in my life. So we know that, oh yeah, also Libero, interestingly, has removed all mentions of New York Celsius, which basically says that he will be leaving New York. Uh, that's kind of really it. Yeah, we just have to see about other changes that may happen. But yeah, so I will leave a link to the about of this page at the link of the description. So I think I said this once I think in a stream that I did. So I will be so when all like the rosters I think will be all announced and everything, I will be then going yes I will be then signing up with the Boston Uprising. And I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions on the team, where I think they're going to be at and everything. Um, yeah, that's kind of really it. Yeah, so these are like currently like all the players in each team, which have either been announced or been re-signed. Alright, so first of all, we're going to be starting with the Atlanta Rain. They still have Gator, Massa, Hawk, Edison, Sharp, Elvis, so no changes. Obviously, they now have Pelican, which may replace Erster. Obviously, Erster did leave, but Erster um, was an amazing, amazing player. Pelican may replace him with that, and that'll be really good to partner with Edison, a full Korean, basically a Korean talented DPS roster, DPS duo. Pelican and Edison, I think a very exciting one. I'll be honest, a very exciting um, DPS lineup for that. Um, I think all the rest of people are gonna stay. I will be very surprised if any of them leave, but I think they all did really, really well this season. Next is the Boston Uprising. They did also acquire Iron 37. I don't think it's really going to change a whole lot. He's now partnered up with Color Hex. It's kind of really it, really. I think he may be a good translator though for Myeongbong. I don't know, like I don't know if a Myeongbong actually speaks any English, but hey, we'll see. Next up, Chengdu Hunters, still no changes there, but as you saw previously for the Chengdu Hunters, there will be there reports they'll be signing Gage 1987, Kaneki, and Jimmy. Um, if that is the case, then obviously I'll have another look at it and we'll see where I think change is going to be. Even though they do have $15,000 in total earnings. Oh lord. Next up is the Dallas Fuel. Still with a relatively stacked roster. Doha Sparkle, Hand Midfielder, Rappel Feelers, and Jaxay. It looks stacked as hell, and I'm very very excited to see this team. Just based, I want this team to win. I think this team has so much potential in it that I think it may happen. They may, okay, Dallas may sign another Element Mystic player. I have no clue, but we'll see. It's most likely gonna be fucking Element Mystic. Holy shit. Yeah. So no changes really for Dallas. We don't really know what Dallas is gonna be doing, which is sad, but I know. Oh, what's the next? Florida Mayhem. Now with the now total of 4 players, the BKB Gargoyle, Yaki, Gangnam Jin. I think we know Yaki and Gangnam Jin are gonna stay. We don't know about BKB or Gargoyle. Um, but yeah, it's kind of really it. Um, yeah, we'll see. Well, like, yeah, we don't know any awaited like we don't know any announcements. He's been mainly doing the Asia Pacific teams. But that's alright. We're still waiting though. It's alright. It's all good. Next up, the Guangzhou Chug, who have been shopping around. Obviously, they did get Kareem, Mandu, and Mike Callie, so there it is. It has a name change. Mike Callie will be partnered with Eileen, which I think he is gonna stay. That'll be a very, I think that'll be a very scary duo, a DPS duo. I'll be honest, but we'll see. Krong still is still looking really good, including Rio, Kareem, and Mandu. Yeah, they're just. We'll see who else they're gonna be picking up. Obviously, they will be picking out Choi Siwon, who is a DPS player. I almost forgot about that. He is a DPS player. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I keep looking. Next up is the Hangzhou Spark. We know that Shy is still so. This is just the roster. We know that Godspeed is not going to go anywhere. Shy is in. We also know that they will be making some big changes with Leji, Bernar, Su, and MCD, which I think they will be looking like a very very scary team coming to next season. So watch out for Hangzhou. They are going to be really really good. Eastern Outlaws, we know that Dante and Hydration are probably going to stay. We don't know about Mecha and Boink. I think, I don't know what Houston's going to do. I don't know any news about Houston. If I check Reddit actually, hang on. Yeah, I don't have any other news about Houston as I see on Reddit, but I just saw that KSF will is apparently a free agent. Crimson has also found a new team. We don't know. Oh shit, I don't know what team though. Hey, we'll see. We'll see what team Crimson is going to be in because I think he did do pretty well this season. Next up, it is the London Spitfire. So Bernar, Fuse, Glisten, and Sanguinar. We know that Bernard is going to go to Hangzhou. There's been reports that Glisten may be going to Washington. We don't know about that one yet. Um, we don't know about Fuse and Sanguinar. Honestly, we previously knew that Sanguinar will be going to Florida. That's not going to be the case. We don't know about Fuse. We don't know if they're going to release a whole roster and just start fresh. But that's what it looks like. I think they will be going for a full European or just a full Western roster, which I think will be pretty good for the London team. They obviously they have some pretty great prospect players in the market. Like you can get Shockwave. As we talked about, maybe like Oni God, maybe Linkser. We'll see. Next up now is not the Valiant, the Gladiators. The Gladiators, obviously we knew Space, Bird Ring, Miracast is probably gonna say. Muse is now there, including Shu and Moth. Apparently Moth actually changed his name. Did he? I don't think so. It is a very nice Photoshop of him wearing a Gladiators jersey. we just have to see who else they're going to announce. We don't know who else they're going to announce. So yeah, there's obviously KSF, free agent. Guangzhou also has found a new team. Yeah, it's kind of really it. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Next up is the Valiant. We know that KSF is now a free agent. So Valiant. So yeah. So the Valiant may sign someone else. We don't really know. Still not a whole lot of change. I think is going to happen. I think KSP was robbed still in the DPS All Stars. I think he was possibly one of the greatest, possibly the best Western DPS player. Change my mind, don't at me. Yeah, so it's not really a whole lot of changes for Valiant. Next up, it is New York Excelsior. So Sabio with Libero, Jonak, and Anamo. We know Libero's probably going to leave because he left. He got rid of all the New York stuff on his bio. Jonak may leave to maybe join Seoul, Hangzhou, we don't know. Anamo, we have no clue. Sabio, we have no clue. Obviously, we know that Yakpeng is going to join, including Guangzhou. Uh, kind of really it. We don't know who else. Paris Eternal, and has Paris just been bottled up and just turned around, abused, and everything. We know that XC's probably going to be staying. Ben Best, Nico, and soon we have no clue about. That's kind of really it. Paris may go full, just rebuilding. We have no clue. And also got rid of the team manager as well. Previously, so they only have the owner and the assistant general manager. Oh god, Paris is definitely going to go full rebuild. They may release their full roster just at the end of my recording. I'll let you know about that if that's the case. Philly's been looking very very strong. We know Carpe and Alama are going to be staying, including Mano, and I think also Funny Astro. Probably Hisu's probably going to be leaving. I think Poco is going to stay, including EQO. We don't know. Also, about the EQ, I still don't know about the EQO situation. I'm no clue about that, but that may happen at some point with one of these players. Maybe Fury. I have no clue. But I don't know any news about Philly. We'll see. Uh, Sevenska Shock. Okay, I had to rethink there. So, Shock's roster has been looking very interesting. They still have Super. I don't know if Super's gonna go. Um, so I think who has been re-signed? I know Teo. I think it was Arn, Striker, Smurf, Choyabin, and FD God are definitely going to be in the team still. We don't know about Super, Violet. I think Twilight as well. Well, maybe I said Twilight. I have no clue. But that's all I can't really know. We don't know about any news, even from competitive Overwatch or Reddit. We have no clue about. I'm just gonna refresh just in case there's a new post. No, there hasn't. Yeah. I'll let you know if like someone is a free agent from now on, just for a little more added juice. Soul Dynasty. They still have made no changes. They have obviously re-signed a couple of players. Mentionally, Marvel, Fitz, Prophet, Gesture, and Creative. We don't know about anyone else. Um, I think Michelle may leave, including Illicit, maybe 2U as well. Um, so there have been reports about 2U actually be staying with the team. Slime may leave. Oh, I'll be really sad, but Docent leaves. Toby may stay. However, did have I don't know. Soul's an interesting one. I just want to say, Soul's just a really, really interesting team. I have no idea. I have no clue what they're gonna do. I have no idea. Also, I think they did really. I think they did announce like the full coaching stuff with Changong MMA, and now Bong Wuai um has now been promoted to a from data analyst to a coach. Next up, Shanghai Dragons, and they've been looking still fucking weird. There has been a rumor or speculations about Lip actually joining Dallas Fuel. We don't know if that's true or not, but apparently Lip has started following some of the Dallas organizations, mainly I think Hastro. He's been mainly doing that. We don't know about anyone else really. I think most of them are going to stay, because obviously Shanghai was a very great, a very very good team. Next up, the Toronto Defiant, and still it looks like a still fucking weird roster. Still Logics and Beast. We still don't know about anyone else. Um, yeah we don't know about anyone else really. However, we do know that I think I said this as well. Sure for Nevix will be taking a break. Um, Obviously it's sad for for both Surefour and Nemix to be taking a break, but yeah, it's a tough business really in esports. At some point you do need to retire or take a break, just be inactive for a couple months, just to get your mental health back up. And I do wish both of those players the best on their future endeavors, if they either retire or not. I do hope they do come back, mainly Surefour, because he is possibly one of the most popular Overwatch League players, other than maybe Super. Um, mainly in the North American side. Very, very, very popular. If he does retire, he may do some streaming, which would be also really, really good. He may go to with the same path as XQC is, which would be really, really good. Anyway, so next up, Vancouver Titans. Still no changes. Still, Dalton, Shredlock, and Rolf, we still know that they will be staying. Shockwave, I'm surprised they still haven't been saying anything about Shockwave, and he's still a free agent. Um, yeah, that's kind of really it. We don't know about Vancouver currently, which is sad, but hey. And next up, lastly, the Washington Justice. They did obviously get Jerry, and this looks like a very confusing roster. Um, I just think it's confusing, to be honest. Um, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It just looks really it just looks really, really, really confusing of a roster. It looks like, but hey, they may add a couple more pieces. We still don't know any reports about them, but yeah. So yeah, that's it. That'll be now it for me. Obviously, let's just look at a competitive Overwatch. Just check. Yeah, that's KSF. He'll be an officially free agent. However, he soon will talk with Valorant, with Valorant, with Valiant. But hey, we'll see. So that is it from me now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will obviously keep you guys updated for the free agents and everything. Obviously, I may lose track on some, but hey, I'll keep track on most of them if I can. So that's it for me. I'll leave a link to Halo of Thoughts' page in the description below. Catch you guys on next time. Goodbye.